this is going to be talking about cymatics.
Fascinating.
So, I want to show you something. Hold on just a second. Sometimes when I see this design that's referred to as mud cloth, and you're trying to figure out what our ancestors and our ancestors' children are trying to say from the continent, maybe they see these patterns. Anyway, cymatics is has to do with sound and sound formation. Now, I actually did this. I experienced this in the so-called king chambers in the Perneter. Some people call it Mer as an indigenous name. More frequently, we know it as the pyramids, but the indigenous wisdom keepers refer to it as the perneter, the house of God, the house of spirit. And then the king's chambers, sat in the king's chambers, and we were in, and you get into that. It's like a box. I'm about to show it, and we're intoning the sound. When we were in the so-called red pyramid, I know Professor Manu doesn't like to be referred to it as in, but in the red pyramid, we went all the way down into the pyramid, and we started chanting, and the the keepers of that pyramid, they turned off the lights on us because they didn't want us to do any chanting. But I want to show you this next one. I'm not going to show you the whole video because it would take too long, eat into our meditation. But the beginning is I think pretty important. So hold on just a second. Yeah, this is it. All right, here we go.
The Great Pyramid of Giza. Built into this incredible structure is what's known as the King's Chamber. Close to the west wall of the chamber is a red Aswan granite coffer. The walls of this coffer are about 6 inches thick. On the outside, it measures about 7.5 feet by 3.5 feet. On the inside, 6.5 feet by 2.5 feet. So you can see why someone would think that this was designed to be a sarcophagus for the king. On the southeast corner of the coffer, you can see that a large section of the corner has been damaged or broken off. Now, there are stories that suggest that the coffer was struck by something very hard to create this damage, which is interesting because when this hard granite coffer is hit with something hard, it vibrates, just like a bell. In 1997, acoustic physics researcher John Stuart Reid was granted permission to conduct a series of experiments within the king's chamber. And what he did was he temporarily repaired the damaged corner of the coffer, and he did this so that he could then stretch a large elastic membrane across the opening, like a drum. Before he did this, however, he placed a sound device or speaker inside the coffer before covering the opening with the membrane. He then poured sand across the surface of the membrane and began to conduct sound tests, and what he discovered was mind-blowing. The granules of sand began to form patterns, shapes, and these shapes were very similar to that of Egyptian hieroglyphs. One of the other interesting things that occurred during these experiments is that John had been suffering from chronic back pain, which was somehow magically healed, and he claims that pain never returned. I'm going to discuss something that should help us come to a greater understanding of life and how everything works. Another puzzle piece to help some of the other pieces make sense and connect. And that is the science of making sound visible. Cymatics.
So, in the beginning was the Word, which is sound, vibration, and the Word was God, and the Word is God. He was with God in the beginning, and everything was made. In the so-called Memphite theology, it says patah, conceived everything in his heart and mind, and through the power of his spoken word, through the power of his vibration, brought everything into being. So I just wanted to introduce to you some of the things that deal with cymatics, that deal with sound, that deal with creation, that will cause us to look at the monuments that are in Africa, not just in Kemet and in Nubia, but also in South Africa, also in other places in Africa. Um, it's a very ancient place. So that's the left brain part of the meditation today. Let's get into the right brain and let's just listen to the sound, and we'll take questions and comments on the other side of this. So let us just prepare ourselves, feet flat on the floor, spine erect. Can either have your hands open on your lap or in this mudra with the index and thumb lightly touching. Let's follow this sound. And now, sisters and brothers, let's make some sounds ourselves with the three basic sounds in our ability to make sounds. Ah, ooh, mm. There are some people that just that's all that is their meditation. They might just do It has to do with the higher vibration. The ah just kind of reverberates just underneath the belly button and reverberates throughout the entire body. And the ooh sound reverberates right around here in the center, solar plexus, heart region. So let's do that about 10 times together. So inhale. So they call those the basic sounds because if you didn't have a tongue, you could make the sound ah, you can make the sound ooh, and you can make the sound mm. And your tongue causes you to make all the other sounds that are in various languages, kind of like a color TV. There's only 3 basic colors. And with those 3 basic colors, you're able to get all the myriad of colors that you see on a color TV. So if you're feeling up, if you're feeling down, if you want to just get in tune with yourself, ah, at the base of your navel, ah. Those of you that have sung in choirs, a lot of times that's how people get on tune with you. That ah. And then for your solar plexus heart region, so you open your mouth kind of wide for the ah, and then when you close it a little bit, you produce the sound ooh. And when you close your mouth all the way, you get the ah.